Hey everybody, good to see you. Let's bring the music down a little bit. I tried a different Stream Beats playlist this week. It's a little bit different, but yeah, good to see everyone. Hello. Got my little terrible dance for y'all to enjoy. Hope you're having a good weekend, holiday weekend actually, here in the States. My camera keeps zooming in just like a touch. I don't know what's up with that. Doing pretty good. I have a little bit of a tummy bug, but otherwise doing okay. Just really nauseous, if I'm being honest. I don't know what's up with that. So no food for Destin today. I'm just going to be chilling. Oh my God, that dance made me realize that we're getting old, Destin. That's right, Alma. We are getting very old. This week, I would say it was a little bit of a slower news week. Would you agree, chat? There wasn't a ton going on, but there's some interesting things to discuss still. Some important things have happened with Xbox. Some important things have happened with PlayStation. And I think the fact that Xbox had their plans put on hold and PlayStation is talking about making this big new acquisition potentially, or at least the Katakawa Corporation discussing that, it could be pretty interesting how things end up shaking out. Thanksgiving was good. Everybody's been sick in the house, so Thanksgiving was a little slower this year. It's like one at a time. The kids were fighting off a cold. Will tariffs affect digital games? You know, I don't know enough about how the tariffs are going to impact the games industry. I think mostly it's going to impact hardware. Phil Roney said, did you get my tweet on X about the other one? Let me take a peek here really quick. Because somebody had mentioned, there's a few things. Oh yeah, the fake news that everybody keeps pushing out. Yeah, I did see that, Phil Roney. Thanks for sending it over. There's been just a proliferation, if that's the right word, of people online just spreading complete BS. It's not at all realistic. Like, there was a rumor going around that Sony is looking to acquire Ubisoft. Source, nothing. They literally are just making stuff up and posting it on X. And it's really unfortunate when I don't see stuff like that get community noted. I've seen it for the Konami deal. Phil Roney sent over one for Konami. There was one that was sent over for another company. And it just keeps happening. Thank you, RDX. I'm going to put your name down. RDX. My wife gave me a new marker. It's red. I don't know if it shows up better on it doesn't. But you're there. Why did the Xbox deals stink this Black Friday? Are they not reading the room? Yeah, I mean, I don't think any of the deals this year were particularly good. It does seem like just financially, everybody's playing everything super safe right now. Omni Waffle, hey, good to see you over on Twitch. I haven't seen Omni in a long time, at least not in my stream. It's good to see you. RDX said tariffs could be the final nail in the console coffin. I think it's going to put console stuff on hold, but we'll have to see how things play out. I'll talk about that stuff as it happens, but I don't have enough knowledge about how that will impact the overall industry going forward in 2025, et cetera. Because 2025 so far is looking like a really, really cool year for gaming. We have Doom. I think there's rumors that Fable and Perfect Dark are going to release next year. So on the Xbox front, we got all that. Who knows what's going on with Wolverine? I don't know what Sony's got up their sleeve for 2025, but I do have to imagine that 2025 is going to be a big year. Yeah, Gears E-Day was announced. Lots of interesting things going on. Deals weren't smoking like they used to be, but still hot. I saw some monitors, for example, that were looking pretty good. And beyond that, nothing was making me go, I got to get out there and go get this deal. It is that time of year, though, where Game Awards are happening. And one of the interesting things that happened with the Game Awards were some surprising wins. Were really nice to see, in my opinion. The most recent was Helldivers 2, and this just dropped. Helldivers 2 wins Game of the Year at the 2024 TIGA Awards. UK Awards crown Rebellion as Best Large Studio and In Dreams as Best Publisher of the Year. Arrowhead Game Studios and Sony's Helldivers 2 was the big winner of the 2024 TIGA Awards, taking home the Best Technical Innovation and Game of the Year prizes last night. SIE also won awards for Best Use of a License thanks to Marvel Spider-Man 2 and Best Narrative in Games for The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. Ninja Theory and Microsoft's Hellblade 2, great, won 2 awards for Best Action and Adventure and Diversity in Games. So did Newfangled Games' Paper Trail for Creativity in Games and Best Casual Game of 2024. The Chinese Room Still Wakes the Deep for Best Audio Design and Heritage in Games. I like how varied all of these were. Actually, they're sort of all over the place in terms of who won what, and the reasoning seems great. I'll have to look more into the TIG Awards, but that sounds awesome to me. RDX Soft said 25% tariff on a 25% $500 console is $125. Yeah, we're gonna have to see how that all plays out. RDX, I don't really know. Ronnie says Destiny needing a source on PlayStation getting Ubisoft. Still no source on this Xbox handheld rumor. Ronnie, it's from Phil Spencer. Phil Spencer confirmed it in an interview with Bloomberg. I've seen you in the comments and I responded to your comment. What are you talking about? Go Google it. It's insane to me. Well, I don't see any source. Did you type it into google.com and go to the Bloomberg interview where Phil Spencer said, we're working on a handheld. We have several prototypes in the office. Like, he said this in an interview. He also said it to Ryan, and I was at the event where he talked about it to Ryan and talked about the idea with IGN that they're making a handheld. So, like, at some point, you need to grow up, type the search into Google, and find it. And it's also compounding it further. In the story where I covered it, there is literally a source in the description that links to where I got the story. I usually, sometimes I get lazy and I don't do it, but usually I put sources for every single video that I'm making, like those one-off news videos. There's a source in every one. Sometimes on the live streams, it's like 50 sources that I've covered throughout the week. So you can just go to the individual story if you want to find the source. But like, I don't know what to tell you. I sourced it. I sourced it so many times. So I saw him comment on it, and then he comes into the live stream and I'm just like, are you for real? No source? It's the Bloomberg interview where Jason Schreier, where he literally said verbatim, we're making a handheld. Anyway, continuing on. Sorry. No, I saw him come in and I remembered him leaving a comment in chat. And it's just like, where's your source for this? I need a source for the Ubisoft thing, which is totally made up. Like, is that the guy who runs the account for the Ubisoft thing that's just total nonsense? Or the Wolverine game tweets where it's just AI generated images? I've seen all of it. I see it all on Twitter, all the stuff that's going on. I look at all of it, and usually I ignore it. But yeah, the big one that does have a source for PlayStation is all about Katakawa potentially being acquired. Dr. Serkan Toto said Katakawa cannot push Sony to buy them. Sony is 31 times bigger, even after Katakawa's recent share price increase. Moreover, hostile takeovers are still extremely rare in Japan, and there has never been a single case involving a foreign company. So this kind of refutes what my thought was earlier. Moreover, hostile takeovers are still extremely rare in Japan, and there's never been a single case involving a foreign company. So the thought was that there was a company from Korea with like some questionable issues with gambling and such, was with From Software. Parent Katakawa is pushing Sony to buy them, says a new report. This is from Hunter, and he links to PlayStation Lifestyle, and PlayStation Lifestyle sources nothing. So is there a source here? Has reportedly been pushing Sony Group towards a purchase, according to a new report. What report? We first saw speculation last week that Kadokawa set the stage for Sony. So this is why it's super important to link your sources when you're writing an article so that people can go read your source. There's no indication that Kadokawa is pushing them, and that's why Dr. Shirkan Toto responded to this particular insinuation. So he's just like, hey, like, this isn't a thing. Nobody's forcing anybody to do anything. They literally can't. So that's what's going on right there. Somebody asked in chat, did I get a Indiana Jones review code? I did not. So I don't have an Indiana Jones review code. I will definitely be playing it when it comes out. It comes out soon, right? It comes out in December at some point. But honestly, hey, Lotus, good to see you. Definitely one of the games that I'm going to be covering and playing is Path of Exile. I am very excited about Path of Exile. There was a little bit of drama about Path of Exile over the weekend. Apparently, somebody accidentally posted their review early. Wasn't me. Wasn't anybody I know particularly well. I know of them, but it was an outlet, you know, I don't want to name names. It seems like it was a mistake, and they came forward and discussed a little bit. The Path of Exile team did. They said, we've seen some speculation that some people might already have access to the early access version of Path of Exile 2. To clarify, some traditional games media have been given access to review a version of the game. Part of the stipulation that media were given is that this is for review purposes only. They may share their opinions of the game, but are not allowed to produce guide-style content from this version that would spoil the discovery of the game or post unedited playthroughs. They are not playing on the same servers as the early access version, so none of their progress will be kept. In addition, all of the content they produce is embargoed until the release of early access on December 6th, so no content is supposed to be posted until then. Unfortunately, there was a miscommunication with Fextra Life that resulted in a video being posted early. This was a mistake on our end and is in no way on Fextra Life. On release day, we want players to be able to make a more informed choice about if they would like to buy a key. We believe that allowing traditional games media access should be able to accomplish this without spoiling the game. So here's a little bit of a spoiler warning. I did previews of Path of Exile. I played as the witch. I played as I believe it's the hunter, right? Anyway, the witch, the ranger, sorry. And I did the mercenary in my most recent preview. I believe the huntress or whatever is coming as one of the first downloadable characters, or one of the first new characters alongside the druid. The ranger is my favorite class. The last preview I did of the mercenary is pretty cool, but every time I have played the game, and I've played a little bit of, I'm just not a warrior fan, not a fan of the warrior. I am so freaking excited for Path of Exile 2. Path of Exile 2 is such a fun game. Every time I played it, I've just wanted to stay and play more. And even during the preview sessions, I would play as long as I could. And then I would just be like, I just want to play again. Like, I want to try another class. And those preview events, they're like all day-ish, because there's usually a presentation, and then you get to play the characters for a while, and then you get to write your impressions about those characters. And it's really, really fun. Lotus, eSpirit, $5, 9 more to go. Thank you, Lotus. Yeah, I figured I would do the initial stream, go for about 2 hours, and then if we get to 10 this week, I'll do a Q&A again. People seem to really like the Q&As, and then we can go an extra hour. Lane Kramer said, hey, Destin picked up Starfield during Steam sale. Did you play it when it came out, and have any suggestions about what to expect? Lane, yeah, so I played it when it came out, and thankfully they did a lot of updates since it came out. They added vehicles, so you can get vehicles instead of having to walk slowly from point A to point B. They added map markers to make visibility a little bit easier. They've made improvements to the game that I think are noticeable. One of the big ones include being able to adjust like your over encumbrance. For me, I just pick up every little thing, and being able to adjust that slider, I found very, very helpful. So Lane, good question. And thank you, Lotus, Lotus, with the $5. Thank you, Lotus. We got like an orange marker thing today. My son took back. He's like, I want my other thing back. Yeah, going back to Path of Exile, though, they had this massive live stream that had everybody super hyped. I am very excited for December 6th. It honestly can't come fast enough. Little Mart, I don't really have anything to say about it, honestly. Like, I covered it off in my preview. I'm excited about the game, and it's a bummer. I'll just say that everything that's happening is kind of a bummer because I am excited for the game, and it just detracts from that. Just the drama like that. Let's talk about Xbox, though. Microsoft says it built an Xbox game store on Android but can't launch it. The ability to sell games in its Xbox app on Android is ready to go live, according to Microsoft. However, the company isn't specific about what's holding it back. So initially, they weren't very specific, but I do think that it's particularly unfortunate that Google basically filed an appeal and now they just can't do anything going forward. A few weeks ago, Microsoft exec Sarah Bond said that in November, players will be able to play and purchase Xbox games directly from the Xbox app on Android. It is almost December and the feature still isn't live, but Bond said it's not Microsoft's fault. She's obviously talking about Google. The problem, as she puts it, is that Microsoft would only be able to do it once a court order takes effect that forces sweeping changes for Google's Play Store on Android, like opening it up to competition and ending the requirement for apps to use Google Play billing. Now, just real quick, I didn't have her tweet. They linked to Blue Sky, and you have to thread on Blue Sky still. So I'm going to find the Sarah Bond tweet with the full quote and just bring it up for you because you can just see the whole thing in one big block. Here it is right here. At Xbox, we want to offer players more choice on how and where they play, including be able to play and buy games directly from the Xbox app. I recently shared our ambition to unlock these features first with the Google Play Store on Android devices in the US, while the other app stores adapt to meet consumer demand. Due to a temporary administrative stay recently granted by the courts, we are currently unable to launch these features as planned. Our team has the functionality built and ready to go live as soon as the court makes a final decision. We are eager to launch and give more choice and flexibility to players. So what happened was they were ready to go, and Google basically said that we're going to file an appeal to this massive case that we lost, and it kind of put all of their plans on hold. Google, at least Colt Eastwood seems to be alluding to this idea that Xbox is planning to allow you to purchase whatever you want, wherever you want. So no matter where you decide to play Xbox games, they are hoping that you would be able to just play it and go on PC, on your mobile device, on your Fire TV stick, if you choose to play there. And honestly, I think that's kind of interesting. I would like to be able to access my full library anywhere I play, and I think it would be great. Yeah, and they said, how about no in Dr. Evil Voice? Yeah, that's about right, Stefan. Good to see you, Woodpit 420. When does it fully launch for everyone? It launches, going back to Path of Exile. I missed King over on Twitch. He was asking about Path of Exile. It comes out December 6th in early access. You have to pay $30, and you get a bunch of in-game currency if you purchase that particular bundle, and you get early access to the game. Now, if you've already spent like $500 in Path of Exile 1, you just automatically get access. I haven't heard of anybody like getting their keys yet or anything like that, so stay tuned for that. Okay, this honestly, out of all the stories this week, I love fan theories. And this one's sort of juicy, so I don't know. I kind of got into this one. Oh, Phil Aroni said, so I had a talk about this with my attorney last week since he used to work for the US FTC, then FCC. It's a competitive clause that is holding it up. His example was, I have milk and I want to sell and can't because Target wants to have it, but if you sell to Walmart, you pay more. Okay, so they're trying to like get a better profit margin, it sounds like. Anyway, the juicy news about From Software, and this is just from Software account. I've seen this going around. It's not just them. Breaking: Bloodborne servers are undergoing maintenance on 12/03/2024. The same date that was hidden in a recent PlayStation trailer. The same date that is the PlayStation anniversary. So yeah, FromSoft News says, I confirm the maintenance messages appears myself. The maintenance is real. Whether or not this is the Nothing Burger is yet to be seen. And there's all these memes of people wearing clown makeup. Clay says it's a big old nothing. I really, really hope that it turns out to be something. I think that would be incredibly cool. It would be incredibly, incredibly cool to see something happen with Bloodborne. Real quick, I gotta address somebody in chat. Ronnie, we're just gonna ban you, bro. Can somebody help Ronnie use Google? Ronnie is back, begging for the source of the Xbox handheld. Thank you, Clay. Ronnie, if you ask again, I'm giving you a timeout. Stop asking for the source. It is linked. Oh my God. Stop. Okay. We got to stop everything for Ronnie, everybody. His name is Ronnie Patterson. That's his handle. And he is like, I cannot find this Bloomberg story. Let me get it for you. Bloomberg Xbox handheld. Seems like a good search result. It's literally the second link. Oh, here's the IGN article. Which one do you want, Ronnie? Oh, and Clay has a link for you. So Ronnie, would you like the Bloomberg link, the original source? Would you like the IGN source? Because IGN's not paywalled. And I typed Bloomberg Xbox handheld. Would you like my video that went over all of the information and showed the article and pulled the quotes and highlighted the quotes from the article so you had all your information in one place? Or would you like it delivered via another method? Let us know, Ronnie. Bloomberg. He wants the Bloomberg link. Okay, everybody. It is paywalled. It is paywalled. So here you go. Here's the paywall Bloomberg link where you have to pay $1.99 a month to access it. And just for good measure, here's the IGN.com article giving you a brief synopsis about the handheld, including pictures of Phil Spencer holding it. Pretending to hold it or whatever's going on with Phil Spencer in that photo. It reads, to reiterate, in an interview with Bloomberg, Spencer said the expectation is that we would do something in the handheld game devices category, but such a device is a few years out. Yes. If anybody would like to link any of the multitude of sources that, yeah, one of my big pet peeves since the inception of Twitter would be where I talk about a story and people would be like, well, what's that from? And I was like, oh yeah, sorry. Let me stop everything in my day. Let me stop everything in my day so that I can go to Google and type in what I just said and find you a link and give you the link for you. I would use the let me Google that for you link thing back in the day. So when Ronnie did it, Ronnie knows how to get me all riled up. Go ahead, Ronnie, pay the $1.99 for Bloomberg. They will appreciate it. It was actually Dina Bass. Dina Bass wrote the piece, but I saw it via Schreier, who had retweeted Dina, I believe. And it's some great reporting. It's a great interview with Phil Spencer. I really did like it. The future for us in hardware is pretty awesome, Spencer said at the time. This is during the 2024 game showcase. The work that the team is doing around different form factors, different ways to play, I'm incredibly excited about it. And I mean, we can use this actually as a jumping off point to talk about PlayStation entering the handheld market, because there was another report about PlayStation getting in on the handheld. Now, I have a video coming up Monday. I have the long form videos that I plan to release on Mondays. And long story short, we discuss who has the better chance of success, me and Travis. So you can check that out Monday. It'll be out, but we'll talk about it a little bit right now anyway. It turns out PlayStation are in the early stages of developing a portable console that would play PS5 games on the move, according to Bloomberg. So another Bloomberg interview. Bloomberg's been on fire this last week. I just got to say this. I think Bloomberg has done some really, really good reporting, especially this last year, about the games industry, maybe the last several years. Now, I've only started paying attention the last I don't know, 2-3 years, because I think Jason went over there, and then you start learning about Dina Bass and all these other writers, and Bloomberg's been doing a good job. And I think their reporting is pretty solid. It's just the facts. It's just like, this is what's happening. This is what we discovered. Here it is. Yes, I have the source ready to go for Ronnie. Ronnie, if you need the source, let us know. It's literally right here on the screen. So they want to contend with Nintendo for the portable gaming market. It's likely years away from launch. Sony declined to comment. They also said this might not release. PlayStation has more experience in the handheld market than Xbox, for sure. And not quite as much as Nintendo, obviously, but they had the PSP. They did 3 models of the PSP. I ended up getting the 3000 model, I want to say. The Vita was very popular. I know Greg Miller over at Kinda Funny is a huge PlayStation Vita fan. Really, really liked it. I think they could see success. I think they could see success if they ended up going out of their way and making a PlayStation handheld. But I don't know if they're going to do it. Why did they stop the PSP then? I don't know why they stopped the Vita. I think at the time they were going up against the DS and all these other things. And right now, everybody's been sort of getting in on the handheld market. Like, look at this. Tencent just revealed like a gargantuan handheld. This is the Tencent X Intel 3D One. It's a massive handheld with an 11-inch screen. It looks like bigger than this person's head. It's massive. So everybody's sort of interested in getting into the handheld market when you have the ROG Ally. And I do think we are going to see a new battleground struck, and that battleground is going to be the handheld market. Steam sort of was the first one to throw their hat in the ring and say, you know what? We're going to give it a shot. We're going to put in the shot. Craig Sampson said Xbox handheld is years out. Prototyping doesn't equal guaranteed release. I mean, Craig's right, but they did state that they are planning to actually go to market with that one. PlayStation didn't seem to indicate that they are going to market. Phil Spencer has said in multiple interviews that he's interested in handheld, and he actually confirmed it in the Bloomberg article. Phil Roney said, I do think looking at Japan and how huge the handheld market is there could be Xbox's way to really break into that market. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I think it would be a very smart move to break in. Phil with $5. Thank you, Phil. Yeah, I do think that Xbox getting in the handheld market, it would be a way to have a second battleground for all of these companies. And I hope PlayStation gets in on it. I hope that Xbox gets in on it. And I hope that Nintendo continues with the Switch 2. The Switch 2 is obviously going to be there. The Steam Deck's going to be there. I do have to wonder if Steam is going to release some sort of upgraded handheld in like 3 or so years. Yeah, the handheld wars. The handheld wars have begun. I might do a video about that. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I do think it would be a compelling market to analyze. Like, okay, here's Xbox's handheld. Here's what it does. Here's how it's different. Here's PlayStation. And a little spoiler for the video on Monday, it's just sort of asking, okay, like who has the best chance of success here for the handheld market? Is obviously Nintendo's going to do quite well. But in terms of Xbox versus PlayStation, who would have the best chance of seeing success in the future if they were releasing handheld? I think Xbox has a very interesting value proposition. They have Xbox Game Pass. They have the ability to, and Phil Spencer has talked about this in many interviews, to add Epic Game Store, potentially Steam, some other storefronts on there, meaning you have access to a massive library. Not only do you have like, 400 games on Xbox Game Pass, but you also have access to any of your existing libraries on the PC front. On the PlayStation front, you're not going to have the other storefronts. There's just no way they're going to let Steam and Epic Games Store be included on their portable device. But you will have access to the PlayStation Plus subscription plans. So I believe they have, like, we'll just say 400. They have a comparable sized library. They have some best in class games. And PlayStation games are awesome. Like Returnal on the Go would be great. Last of Us. Any of their games are wonderful. Spider-Man. I'm a big fan of PlayStation games. And I think one thing that PlayStation fans still get mad at me, and I think there's been a confusion about my stance on PlayStation. I did not like the corporate policies that Jim Ryan implemented. I didn't like the layoffs that happened there or at Xbox. And I think if you really like a company, that you should hold them accountable and hold them to a high standard. I do for Xbox. And I think that you should also for PlayStation. PlayStation has also drastically transformed in just the last 2 years. They've implemented a lot of new services. They've done a really good job of getting third-party games on their platform to give them a leg up in terms of the competition. But there's also it's sort of a double-sided coin there where they have content exclusives, but at the same time, they're also pushing against, they're making exclusive games come out on their platform. It's sort of that old strategy of having exclusives that eventually come to Xbox. As soon as Death Stranding was purchased by Kojima, like the same day he put out Death Stranding on Xbox. And I feel like if you were paying attention, you knew that was coming. But I'm definitely in a wait and see situation with PlayStation. And you'll notice my coverage on PlayStation has changed since Jim Ryan left. It's kind of like, okay, we have new leadership here. What are they going to do? What are they going to offer for us? I mean, like, so far, I think they're still dealing with the fallout of Jim Ryan's decisions, if I'm being totally honest. Jim Ryan is the one who greenlit Concord, and he greenlit these live service games. Who knows what's going to happen with Fair Games? There's all of this stuff going on from the Jim Ryan fallout. And I don't think that Herman Hulst and I really got to remember the other guy's names. I know Herman Hulst because he worked on the Guerrilla Games, co-CEO PlayStation. I want to say Hideki. Yeah, Hideki Nishino. Hideki Nishino. And he does hardware. And all of the hardware that he's worked on has been incredibly well received. Yeah, Herman was big on Concord. No, Hiroki Totoki he runs Sony. And then it's Herman Hulst and Hideki Nishino, who are co-CEOs of PlayStation. One works on a struggle. It's not funny. One works on hardware and one works on games. And Herman Hulst was a big champion for Concord. Yeah, it was a big deal that they did a co-CEO strategy. Game Pass doesn't work on another platform. It's conflict of interest with third party. Hey, Mark, good to see you. Crazy news about Yoshido. What's Yoshido? 1 second. Oh, I don't know anything about. I don't know what Yoshido is. I don't see anything pop up, but yeah. I think that PlayStation has a compelling reason to buy their handheld. They have really, really interesting, great games. Guys, what are you doing? Stop. Oh, you're saying the wrong name. Jeez. You're talking about Shuhei Yoshida. Yoshida. Somebody typed the name wrong. Yeah, I was going to get to that one. Shuhei Yoshida, please listen to this podcast. Shuhei Yoshida joins a special episode of PlayStation Podcast. Learn about his 31 career at PlayStation and his favorite PlayStation games of all time. Phil Spencer said, congrats on an amazing career at PlayStation. You've always been a great advocate for the industry, for creators, and for players. I've appreciated the time we've been able to spend talking gaming. Thank you, Josp. he's incredible. Like Shuhei Yoshida has been an incredible champion for consumer value, for indie developers. He has traveled the world working to make PlayStation a better place to develop. And he was there for a long time working to just make great things at PlayStation. When the indie story came out, and I did a story on the channel about the indie developers who felt like they weren't being seen, and they're like, PlayStation's one of the worst platforms to develop for because they just didn't have visibility. You know what he did? He fixed the problem. I think that it's great that Shuhei Yoshida was able to have such a positive impact. And I think this is a huge loss for PlayStation. Everybody likes Shuhei Yoshida. He's been there 30 years. Yeah, he's there 31 years. 31 years. An absolute incredible accomplishment. You want to actually go and read the interview? I didn't actually do the full interview, but let's just read it now, because I have a lot of respect for usually people in media call him Shuhei Yoshida. I got to meet him at one of the PlayStation events. Like, he was just walking around and I was collecting the cards. I'm like, that's Shuhei Yoshida. It's crazy. He was good friends with Andrew Goldfarb also. Wonderful person. If you listen to the PlayStation podcast over the past 14 years, then you definitely know Shuhei Yoshida, perhaps best known for his lengthy turn as the president of PlayStation Studios during part of the PS3 and PS4 years. Yoshida-san has spent the past few years evangelizing independent developers as head of Indies Initiative at PlayStation. With PlayStation's 30th anniversary arriving next week, I got some time to catch up with Yoshida-san to discuss his career, his plans for the future, and his top game picks across 30 years of PlayStation. Read on for some excerpts. Happy to have you. We're going to be catching up, but I heard you had some news for us here today, and this was the big announcement. Oh, Widya says, Yoshida had lunch with Phil Spencer, and everyone thought he would be doing something at Xbox. Well, he is planning to stay in the industry, he said. So just on that, there were some jokes about how Phil Spencer was going to say, can't wait to see you in the office in February. If he goes over to Xbox to help Xbox improve visibility on their indie games and make sure that indie games are developed in a healthy way, or maybe interface with Japan in a better way, I do think that it would be very good for Microsoft to do that. I think it would be very, very smart. Yes, I have an announcement to make. I'm leaving Sony on January 15, 2025. It's like announcing the launch date of a new game, something I haven't done for a long time. You've been with Sony for so long. What's guiding your decision and timing? I've been with PlayStation from the beginning, and this is my 31st year with PlayStation. He was there before the console even came out. And when I hit 30 years, I was thinking, it may be about time for me to move on. You know, the company has been doing great. I love PS5. I love the games that are coming out on this platform. And we have new generations of management who I respect and admire. And I'm so excited for the future of PlayStation. So, you know, PlayStation is in really good hands. I thought, okay, this is my time. Just a classy way to go out of the company. Tom says, Shuhei Yoshida is the same guy who thought Demon's Souls was garbage and lacked the vision to see how big Soul games would become, not necessarily a massive win if Microsoft takes him in like you suggest. You know what else he said was bad? He said that God of War was bad. There are clips of Shuhei Yoshida and his reaction to the original God of War game. And you know what those creators did? They put their heads down. They figured out the pain points in their projects, and they released them. And he actually acknowledged, I believe, his misstep. I don't know. I don't even want to say it's a misstep. His take on the Demon's Souls franchise. And he honored them by praising them and introducing the Demon's Souls remake. You did, Philaroni? Yeah, so, you know, back the original God of War days, they were really, really working closely with Jaffe at the time. And then the Cory Balrog days with the new PlayStation game, they worked together to adjust to Shuhei Yoshida's requirements. And the games ended up being better for it. So I wouldn't say like he said it would be bad or said it would be a disaster or something like that. Like he's seeing these games in their rawest form and bringing up concerns that hopefully are addressed, and then they come out and they're better games for it. I bet Yoshida said that you should hit that like button, click on the bell icon, and subscribe to Destin's channel. That's right. He probably did. I want to get to the part where he talks about his favorite games. Small but very exciting. Okay. You eventually moved up to being president of PlayStation Studios. Is there a memory that particularly stands out for you in your time at PlayStation Studios? Throughout the time I was involved in game development, there were so many great games and great teams I was fortunate to work with. And every year going to events like DICE Summit was so much fun because some of our games got nominated for the Game of the Year many times. When you are in an industry, if you get involved in one Game of the Year game, you are so fortunate. But I got nominated almost every year. Sort of a mic drop moment. A little bit interesting. But yeah. He did talk about some of his favorite games. He talked about, oh yeah, Genova Chen. And Genova Chen was from That Game Company. Really, really like that one. Destin is beating it with these segues. I like the segues are fun. I have fun with that. I can't find some of his favorite games though. They're not listed, but I think he mentions God of War and things like that. But yeah, losing Shuhei Yoshida it's a big deal. It's a big deal for that to happen at PlayStation. And I hope that they are able to, continue making interesting stuff. I'm going to move this one over here. There were some other PlayStation stories that came out right around that same time. They confirmed that the PS2 has actually sold 160 million units. So that was updated, which means it is still the #1 console ever sold. The official PlayStation page now confirms that the PS2 has sold over 160 million units, something I had already calculated 10 years ago. We still don't have an exact figure, but the thread below explains the theoretical maximum. Spoiler, the PS2 theoretical maximum is 161.8 million, although the real figure is definitely below that. So basically what Sony's saying is like, we're good with 160 million. I don't like it when I see people online trying to detract from the astronomical success of the PS2 console. People are like, oh, well, it had the DVD player built in, and that's the only reason it did well. No, I don't agree with that at all. The PS2 era is one of, I would say, the most important eras in gaming. You had the PS2, you had the GameCube, you had the Xbox, and we got so many interesting games around that time. We got Halo, we had Eternal Darkness over on the GameCube. They remade the original Metal Gear, a little bit controversial, but I had a lot of fun with that. Super Mario Sunshine. I went through 3 PS2s. That sounds about right, Woodpit. But then the PS2 was doing cool stuff like Ratchet and Clank started on the PS2. We had Sly Cooper on the PS2. And there were a lot of games for all sorts of gamers on that platform. It was the first console that I ever put a hard drive in and put the Ethernet port on the back so that you could play games like SOCOM 2. And you could play, I would play Final Fantasy 11. I got a keyboard and mouse, and I would play Final Fantasy 11. I started on the PS2, and then I built a PC so that I could play on the PC because I was tired of, playing off the console. Yeah, and don't forget Grand Theft Auto 3, I believe it was a PlayStation 2 exclusive. So yes, the DVD player being intact and part of the PS2, it absolutely contributed to its success, but that just was a really smart move by Sony. They deserve all their flowers, I think that's what the kids say these days, for their success with the PlayStation 2. It was incredible. It was incredible what they were able to accomplish. It was incredible how they pushed gaming forward at that time. No one can deny how successful the PS2 was. I think it's absolutely an incredible device. I love my PS2. I still have it in storage. I keep all my old consoles just in case I ever need it for capture or whatever. And 160 million, I mean, it makes sense. Yeah, now kids are like, what's a DVD? Yeah, and the fact that the DVD player was included, I don't see that as a negative. A big reason that it was successful was because of that inclusion, but I don't see that as a negative. I see that as a smart way to get people who only know, DVDs and such, to get them into gaming. There's some phenomenal photos here of the unit. And live in your world, play in ours. Man, I can remember it like it was yesterday. And when I was looking at these old ports, I forgot it had the S400 port. That was for like super mega drives, like really, really large drives where you could have your media. I never used the S400 port. I wish they had a shot of the backside of the thing. But yeah, they talked about, yeah, the DVD age. By 2000, DVD was the most desirable way to watch movies at home, but dedicated DVD players could be costly at the time, so the PS2 console's combination of gaming and DVD playback was hugely attractive to price-savvy consumers. What do you think would be a modern version of that? I think the Switch was a big innovator in handheld, so I do think that helped a lot. And they have a few pictures of other units here. These are the PS2 Slims, where this top thing would pop open and you would put the disc in and then you would be able to play it. Yeah, and there's oh man, this is just like a trip down memory lane for me. They had so many good games. I bought this hard disk drive add-on, so you would have your network adapter and you'd be able to pop that in on the back and screw it on. Mine still has the hard drive and everything on it. Yeah, they have some of the games here, SOCOM, Final Fantasy 11. Yeah, and I played Final Fantasy 11 on my PS2 when I started out. And then they had backwards compatibility. That was another big thing. They had some, Eco or Ico, however you want to say it. Man, one of my favorite games of all time, Shadow of the Colossus, Killzone. I forgot about. There were so many cool, great games on the PS2. God of War. I used to have posters of God of War on my wall. Yeah. And, eventually, so like, I think the PS2 was about the time I got back into gaming, and I went really, really hard with the PS2, and I was able to buy a PlayStation 2. And then I got a used Xbox from a mom and pop store after I played an Xbox at a party. And I was like, what is this Halo game? This is so cool. And then I got the GameCube mostly for Twin Snakes because I ended up being a massive Metal Gear fan. I worked at a movie rental place, and I would rent out movies and games all the time. So I would like try just whatever the thing was that nobody was playing, and I would just play as many as I could. And I had GameFly and all that stuff. Speaking of the PSP, we were talking about that earlier. That was pretty cool. They had the UMD drives. I think I have this unit. I think it's just back over there, honestly. It's probably not. You're probably not able to power it up. Yeah, Peace Walker came on the PSP. I played that on a trip until my hands were like claw hands. Yeah, sorry to just talk about all this. It's just so cool to see the old unit. They don't have the PS2 on the bottom part. So they talk about the PS1 and the PS3 and everything, but I honestly think that the PS2 is a big reason why PlayStation still exists and has seen so much success, because they had a misstep with the PS3 for a while. Eventually they adjusted the pricing and everything, and then they knocked it out of the park with the PS4. So the PS4 would come along and just absolutely trounce Xbox. Like Xbox could have gone Xbox went toe to toe with PlayStation for years. And then the PS4 and the Xbox One came out. And honestly, I put a lot of that on Don Matrick. I think Don Matrick's tone deaf approach to not wanting to play online and not wanting to like give users more options with the Xbox One really, really hurt that console launch. Like I like the Kinect, I like the functionality and everything, but it wore off very fast. And the games that you were able to play on the Kinect, I can't think of anything that I was like, man, I need to bust out the Kinect so I can play it again. It was really hard to optimize games on the original Xbox One. Well, Struggle says Don was ahead of his time. I actually agree with that a little bit. There was some functionality built into the Xbox One that is just standard practice today, like the way that you're able to digitally share your games and such, but it shouldn't have been a detractor from the way things were at the time. And unfortunately, I think he just made it too restrictive, and that is what led to a lot of the issues with the original Xbox One. Someone above Don was okay with it. Well, they were okay with it until they weren't, because he's gone and then Phil was in. Anyway, just sort of talking about Shuhei Yoshida and PlayStation and all of this stuff just made me think about it. And make no mistake, Xbox is doing quite well for themselves. I think Xbox might be going into a period of time where they're going to have some pretty solid games. We've seen this kick off with Call of Duty. Thank you to the Call of Duty community for continuing to make the launch of Black Ops 6 one for the record books. #1 total players. #1 hours played. #1 total matches. In the first 30 days from launch together, you made Black Ops 6 the biggest Call of Duty ever. And then Treyarch is selling with a 2XP weekend and everything. So Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is a astronomical success. And having gotten to play Call of Duty, it's really fun. I have not played a Call of Duty this much before. Like the last one, the word on online was that it wasn't very good, that they kind of like had some levels that weren't that fun, and it probably could have used, pardon me, it probably could have used just a little bit more time in development. And Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is great. I would recommend Call of Duty Black Ops 6 to anybody who is interested in playing it. We kind of talked about that one. Oh yeah, okay. So we got a few other Xbox Microsoft stories. Forgot about it. 1 second here. Let me get these queued up. So I got a few about Nintendo. I want to talk about the Witcher story. There was one over here I thought I missed. Just give me a sec. So what do you think? What's been one of your favorite recent Xbox games? Like, what have you been playing a lot? Let me know in chat. Prop Hunt is great. I haven't played Prop Hunt. I'll have to check it out. All right, let's continue on here. Unfortunately, Xbox is killing avatars on PC, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X and S. This is a bummer for me because I really like my stupid avatar from the 360 era, and I still use it on the Xbox. So here's what it says basically. Microsoft will shut down. Oh, can I pause this? Microsoft will shut down its Xbox Avatar Editor app on PC, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X and S on January 9th due to low engagement. Yeah, we've all made our avatars. Like, who needs to mess with that? That means you'll no longer be able to access or edit your Xbox avatar, and you'll lose any purchased cosmetic items for them. Oh no. Any money spent on avatar items will be refunded. They're just going to give me back my $1 for the Omniblade. Okay. After 9th of January, Xbox avatars will disappear from profile pages. That one hurts. Microsoft has said, so if you want to snap one last gamer pic using your digital self, now is the time. All right, well, I'm definitely going to be doing that. The good news here is this solely refers to the newer Xbox avatars. Oh, it's not the ones I like. It's the ones launched in 2018 for the Xbox One era. Microsoft entirely separate and confusingly distinct Xbox original avatars are unaffected. I love my original Xbox avatar. That's good news, because I actually didn't like the ones that they introduced with the Xbox One, but I get to keep my one that had the Omniblade and everything. Chat, did you think it was the new one? Yeah, the 360 stuff is staying. Yeah, it's so funny. Everybody had the same reaction as me. It's like, no, I love my silly 360 avatar. And now they're just like getting rid of the Xbox One version of them. Microsoft is dedicated to delivering great experiences for players, including a variety of options to personalize their gaming experience with Xbox, Microsoft said in a statement now. Due to low engagement and our shift in focus towards delivering other player experiences, the Xbox Avatar Editor app will no longer be available starting on the 9th of January 2025. Players can still personalize their gaming experience with dynamic backgrounds and profile colors on Xbox consoles, and with Xbox original avatars, profile themes, and gamer pics on Xbox consoles and PC. I'm going to see if I can bring up my Xbox profile and just show you guys because I think the picture, it's my OG avatar, if I remember it. Yeah. All right, let's see here. I just want to see my avatar. I don't want to show off my address. Give me a second. Yeah, so this is great. I actually really like my stupid avatar. Here's a large version of it. All right, let me know if I should be worried, because this is the avatar that I use online. This one's good, right? This isn't the Xbox One era avatar. This is the, oh, you're good avatar, right? Because I remember I tried doing one with the Xbox One and I just didn't like how it came out. Time for Destin to dox himself. Yeah. This is my avatar. This is what I've used for years. It's just silly. It's very generic. It reminds me of like my Amiibo or my Wii character at the time. But yeah, this is what I've used for a long time. A little shiny today. Sorry. I think you were good. The John line seems 360. All right, good. Yeah, it's pretty polygonal, right? Whew. I'm safe. Okay, we got, like I said, it was a little bit of a slow week. Maybe we'll go back. Oh, no, I actually have something that I want to talk about earlier, because we're going to talk about a game that a lot of people are upset about. The next Witcher game has now entered full-scale production, says CD Projekt Red, and they have this big media release where they're talking about what is going on with the third quarter. The CD Projekt Group posted 228 million PLN in Q3 2024 revenues, owing to strong sales of Cyberpunk 2077, its Phantom Liberty expansion, as well as The Witcher 3. Total post-release sales of Cyberpunk 2077 topped 30 million copies, while the Phantom Liberty expansion has sold over 8 million copies. That's insane. Anything over 5 million is an insane astronomical success. So that is crazy. Congrats, Philaroni, I think. Total post-release sales of Cyberpunk topped 30 million. Phantom Liberty sold 8. Project Polaris, the first installment in the New Witcher trilogy, to be clear, has progressed to full-scale production. And the one quote is, "I'm proud to confirm that several weeks ago, the Polaris team wrapped up pre-production and moved on to full-scale production, the most intensive phase of development. We are very pleased with our progress on this project, and I wish to thank the team for its dedication," says Mikhail Nowakowski, joint CEO of CD Projekt. The company also announced that both products from the Cyberpunk universe have reached important sales milestones. And then they talked about the total sales. In the third quarter of 2024, revenues on the CD Projekt Group amounted to 228 million, with a consolidated net profit of 78 million PLN. So their profit is 78 million. That's crazy. We're looking back at another very strong quarter. Cyberpunk 2077 and its Phantom Liberty expansion continue to sell very well, but The Witcher 3 is also performing admirably. Our cumulative net profit for 2024 is already nearing a 250 million PLN, even though we're only on the cusp of the most intensive quarter in terms of sales, summarizes Peter Nilebowitz. I have no idea how to say this name. Piotr? It's Peter, right? Nilebowitz. Sorry. He's just the CFO of CD Projekt, and I can't say his name. I should probably learn how to say his name right. Cool stuff. I gave CD Projekt Red a very hard time for what I felt like was misleading marketing to their consumers about the previous gen game versions of Cyberpunk 2077. It is Peter. Yeah. Piotr. Okay, got it. Thank you. Thank you, Carl. However, that said, I gave the PS4 and the Xbox One base versions of those games, I gave it like a 4 out of 10. And I don't need to update my score because it never improved enough to be a viable product on those base consoles, in my opinion. However, I think the PS5 version and the Xbox Series X version were quite solid. There were some issues with crashing at the time. I believe those have been addressed. And the PC version has always been phenomenal. They've vastly changed the PC version from the first time I played it. I put a lot of time Yeah, Sony delisted it. Sony delisted it, and it wasn't until they got into a state where they felt it was good enough to sell to people that they brought it back. So there was a lot of drama, but they deserve props for the amount of work that they put in to correct the issues, and I do give them props for that. But I hope they never again try and tell me that the PS4 version of the game is going to be just as good as the PS5 version or any other version of the game. They were just not adequate. I'm very excited about Witcher. I've only played like the intro part of The Witcher, where you're at the castle and then you go into the village and you go to that first castle and you fight the big griffin or whatever. And I stopped. That's all I've really played of The Witcher. I should probably fix that. It's definitely on my list of must-play games. Don't get mad at me, okay, chat? I got a lot of stuff going on in my life. There's two Nintendo stories I want to cover off on. Nintendo subpoena Google, Discord, Reddit, and more in ongoing Switch pirate crackdown. The firm particularly targeting Switch Pirates subreddit, which has over 190,000 members. I thought it was 200,000, but yeah. And long story short, the Nintendo is going after more unauthorized Switch shops and modders and has asked a U.S. District Court to subpoena business records from various firms in order to identify alleged pirates. This was reported on GameFile. Now, what's really funny is that before this, there was a court case against somebody that was pirating their games, streaming their games, and then when Nintendo hit him with a DMCA, he said, I've got multiple accounts. We can do this all day. They have 41 pages of evidence. Well, okay, maybe like 10 pages of that is the actual case. They have like 30 pages of evidence against this person who live streamed illegal copies of the games. It's just absolutely insane to see. It's absolutely insane to see. I mentioned it to another streamer, Turbo. My main reaction is that it's just really unfortunate that the whole thing happened, because after playing it, I was so excited for it, and it just detracts from that. It's just a huge bummer, honestly. The whole thing it's a bummer. That's sort of my reaction to it. That's all I really want to say about it. And every time there's like a topic like that that's going on, I get people that will come in and like, we need to know what you think about this. And I'm like, you've already seen all the reports. Like, you know what's happening. And for me, my reaction to it is largely disappointment. It's just disappointing because I did the preview 9 days ago. I was very positive. I'm very excited about Avowed, and this just detracts from that. It's a bummer, you know? Continuing on, though, we're talking about Nintendo and things right now. Daniel Ahmad says, I've received a number of questions asking why this announcement was made. Here's a quick explainer. And basically what's happening is Nintendo Switch eShop and online services are ending in China on March 31st, 2026. All software will no longer be available to purchase or claim. Here's a quick explainer. China has a unique regulatory landscape. This is from Daniel Ahmad, by the way. When it first comes to foreign companies operating within the country. Video games, for example, require government approval before they can officially launch in the country and for a Chinese entity to act as the operator of the game. In 2019, Nintendo partnered with Tencent and formed a JV to bring the Nintendo Switch to China. A China version of the console launched in December 2019, selling over 1 million units in its first year. However, the China version is a unique console that is different from the global version. Okay. The China version is region locked when it comes to cartridge-based games, and any game cartridge will work. Oh, okay. The China version is region locked when it comes to online services, and only a China eShop /account is available to use. This means only officially approved games can be downloaded from the China eShop, of which there are less than 100. What this means is that a lot of core console gamers prefer to import the console from Japan, Hong Kong, or the US, as the global version is fully region unlocked and can access any eShop store. The shutdown announcement is specifically referring to the China version of the console. This is actually all great context. This is great context. Game cartridges and already downloaded games will continue to work, of course, but online services and new game downloads will not. While an official reason was not given for the closure of online services, the date suggests it's the end date for a contract Nintendo had in place with the service provider under Tencent. The announcement also comes at a time when the Switch is at the end of its life cycle. The decision will have a somewhat limited impact on the install base in China, given the limited selection of games via the eShop, plus large number of import consoles in use. It's likely Nintendo is currently working with Tencent to negotiate terms for the Switch successor online services. Now, sorry, that was a really long-winded answer to say, basically, the China version of the Switch is so locked down that players in China would rather import the device from another location nearby and then basically play that version. So that, long story short, that's what's going on over there. So yeah. Anyway, we got a little bit of a react going on today. I don't know if you've heard of this game. It's called Light of Motiram. What is it? Motiram? Light of Motiram. Does this look like any other game to you? I can't figure out. It just looks really familiar. I feel like I've seen something that looks like this before, but what a really cool original concept that doesn't look like anything else on the market. Nothing is doing anything like this, like robot characters. It looks so unique, and like a redheaded protagonist with like cool headgear and a little floating orb that revives you. This guy over here. This is so interesting. In all seriousness, though, obviously there are comparisons to Horizon being made by a lot of people. I was looking over some of the images pre-release, and there's actually some gameplay out there. I don't know where the gameplay came from. I don't know how there's gameplay out there, but they have a 7-minute official asset I thought we would take a look at really quick. We'll do let me do studio here really quick. Make sure I got this queued up correctly. Okay, let's hit it. Stinger. Boom. So we got this, and we're going to give it a watch. Or not. All right. Yeah, it's me reacting to a empty screen. Let me fix this really quick. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, there we go. My bad. This is the game. This is their official trailer. I haven't watched it or reacted to it yet. Just a heads up. My channel has been getting flagged for copyright for like the littlest thing. Last week, 2 different sound bites got incorrectly flagged automatically by YouTube. So this might get deleted. I'm not going to deal with the headache of like taking out a licensed song or whatever. So let's just react to it in the moment, and hopefully I don't get demonetized and have to clip this part out. Oh, big robot. Oh, look, he stomped on the thing and life came back. Yeah, the music copyrights have been out of control. So look, you got a little ghost that follows you around. The music's interesting. I like the music, actually. I like the design. I like what they're doing here.
Wave come.
It's literally the ghost from Destiny. This looks good. I don't know if this is CG or this is actually in engine.
The fourth breath I grant you.
Okay, so like he's basically like a deity type character. Phil Aroni says, in a weird way, this reminds me of Power World a bit. situation-wise. I wonder if the art was AI made in some ways. The gameplay, though, for this game is much different. I'll cover some of the costs. Thanks, Phil Roney. Appreciate it.
To live in this world which spirals against
It looks
time.
cool, though. Like... I do like the aesthetic and how everything is looking in the engine. Like, is this in engine? Or is this like a cutscene? They're doing some cool stuff here. Hey, Jose. They have some in-engine stuff in this trailer. Is the audio balance okay? I'll turn down the music a little bit. They're going pretty hard there. All of this looks a little bit too CGI to me right now. But aesthetic-wise, they really nailed the Destiny Horizon thing they were going for. The trailer is too good to be true.
As long as the world shall.
We're going to watch the trailer, and then we're going to watch... I don't know what's with the voice acting on the robot guy. And again, you can go watch this. You can just look up Light of Motiram, and you can go look it up if you don't want to listen to my dumb commentary. It looks interesting to me. It's different, but obviously aesthetics-wise, Horizon, I think they could have a case. Yeah, gameplay. I'm waiting on gameplay. Oh yeah, the robot things have skeletons. I don't know what's up with that.
I had this dream
Okay.
where a god that blessed brought destruction. So why can't human beings kill God?
What a weird line, but okay. I haven't played Nine Souls yet, Sly. Okay, so this is pre-alpha gameplay footage. This is in engine. It looks good. One thing, and that's exactly what they're doing here, that really sells me on a game is just having a lot of different visual aesthetics to the sections. They just showed a desert area. They showed a rainy water-filled area. They showed a snow-covered area. Dwayne asked, what platforms will the game be on? It'll be on everything as far as I know. It's going to be on a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, like the designs look good. I like this. Like, is that her ship? Is that her ship? Or is this like an invasion happening? It already just like looking at the art and the overall aesthetic of the world and what they're trying to design here. I'm just like curious about how we interact with this giant ship. Susano says it looks even better in the promotional materials. Oh yeah, sea robot. The robot dinosaurs look really cool. I've seen some other reactions that say a lot of the animations were taken from like Elden Ring. Yeah, here's actual in-engine gameplay where you're running alongside this other huge character. Yeah, okay. Oh, they're using the rings to like fast travel basically. See, I think Horizon's an absolutely gorgeous game. I think this is more like Power World level visuals. Obviously upgrading your base or making an upgrade station, it seems. Color me intrigued. I'm really curious about whatever they're doing with this thing. What if this is the Horizon multiplayer game? Hold up. No, 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 no. Because Horizon was rumored to be making that multiplayer game, and just for a second, I was like, well, what if this is low key actually the Horizon game that they had been teasing? But no, that's not a thing. It's Tencent, so probably not. But this is cool. If this is what they were pitching for the Horizon multiplayer thing, where you can play with a bunch of friends, I'm kind of into it. Audio is kind of loud. I can turn it down a bit. I like the combat. Boosh. It's like Monster Hunter, but it's not quite Monster Hunter. It's really good. Boosh. The combat looks fun. So they nailed the visuals. They have really compelling combat. It's just like, I think the only big negative is they ripped off Horizon too much. And everybody's just going to be calling it a Horizon ripoff. I think with the success of Palworld, we're going to see more games like this that look similar to other games out there. Spider Guy looks neat. Yeah, somebody was saying that this is close. This mechanically is close to an Elden Ring boss fight. But no joke. I'm into it. Combat looks better than Horizon. Yeah, you're hitting stuff. You're not shooting weak points or whatever. Although it does look like that is a mechanic. That's obviously a robot companion that you can summon. I don't know if I would want to do the hammer. Yeah, you can use a bow. This character is using like a big old sword. Good jump. Okay, weak points. They have weak points. Hit the legs. I'm not going to lie. This looks good. This gameplay looks good to me. It's unfortunate that like it is very similar to Horizon, almost like one-to-one with Horizon design aesthetic. That said, let's be honest here. Do we think that the market will care? Do you think they're going to play it anyway? Yeah, it's PC, PS5. I think it's Xbox. I didn't see that confirmed, but it's definitely mobile, and I know it's PS5. So the fact that it was thumbs up for PS5 is interesting, to say the least. Chat, what do you think about this gameplay? I think it looks good. Combat looks boring, says Wiseman. I know, it looks very Monster Hunter to me. If you're not into Monster Hunter, then maybe not for you. Some finishers. That looks fun. Now, we're going to look at actual gameplay in a second, but the trailer did pretty good. Oh, yeah, and then you can, like, collect the robots and upgrade your robot flyer. And your robot mounts and stuff.
5 times I erased you, yet still you won't silence up.
I think the translation's a little...
How much more resurgence do you need, anyway?
Oh my goodness. Big robot. Okay, so it just says Steam Epic Game Store, wishlist now. It actually didn't confirm PlayStation 5, but I swear I saw that online that it was confirmed for PlayStation 5. It doesn't say anything in the video description. Let's go back to the website really quick. Maybe it's at the bottom of the website. No, it doesn't say anything about platforms. It just says Steam. Steam and Epic. So it's confirmed for PC. I believe it was confirmed for mobile. If anybody knows any more information, let me know, because on the official website, there's not a ton. You know, let me just Google it. Oh, here we go. Sports Illustrated got the scoop. Light of Motiram will be released on PS5, iOS, and Android on top of PC. Not on Xbox. Okay, great. Tencent and Polaris Quest caused a bit of an uproar with the reveal of Light of Motrium. In addition to PC, oh, sorry, 1 day after the initial announcement, additional information came out. So I want to find the official source. I just want to read the press release. Gamatsu has a report. Oh, they have 60 minutes of gameplay. Who are they linking out to? Oh, here we go. All right. Yeah, wait, I actually researched stuff. Yeah, I do. So we can get, this is Google, using Google Translate, but the Pinion actual machine demonstration is a recording of the beta version. So this is the gameplay that they posted of the final product. Wild Origin is a mechanical. This is all translated from Chinese, so it's going to be a little bit different. Maybe it's under the news. We're doing this live, everybody. We're actually doing this live. We found the website, but it's all in Chinese. Oh, okay. We're gonna mute this website too. They just play the music in the background. Who knows what any of this says? It doesn't say the platforms. I don't see anything about PlayStation. But if they've managed to strike, oh, this looks great. Look at the Mastodon. That looks so cool. So it's just more about the game. They linked out to this gameplay asset, though. Can we actually play this? I don't think... Oh, okay. Here's actual gameplay, everybody. Does it have audio? I muted this site. 1 second. I gotta... All right, so this is actual gameplay. It's from the China version of the game, so everything's in Chinese. But this is posted on their official website. So when you look at actual gameplay, it's more of like a crafting survival type game, very similar to Pal World. Somebody in chat is saying that this is a old beta build. There's 16 minutes of this. I'm gonna skim it. So obviously there's crafting. If this is like alpha, does anybody know Chinese? Is this Billy Billy or what is this weird icon up here? Yeah, all right. So just like Pal World, you have harvesting and things like that. And then I imagine you go out and you take on these big robot monsters. This looks exactly like my Pal World base. Just a bunch of stuff. Yeah, it's Pal World. It's Pal World. Absolutely Pal World. Or Ark. Yeah. Built a cool grass hut. Oh, wait. We missed the mount there. Okay. So this is like alpha footage. This is sort of what gameplay is like. This is nothing like the trailer. Just like most games, right? Good, bad, winner, loser. All your console games belong to me. Basically. So I want to see this character go fight anything. Because the combat looked... Okay, they have like backstab. Just killed that guy. Jeez. Alright. So I would compare this more to like Enshrouded. This looks more like Enshrouded than anything to me. Even the icons look like... Yeah, go fight the big robot thing. Hopefully, I wonder if they capture it with a ball at the end of the encounter. Combat against the robots looks good. Okay, now that you've seen alpha gameplay, are you more or less excited about the game? So, this is basically the same Pal World. Level up, get all your gear, go out and fight robots, come back. You're more excited now. Okay. This fight is pretty solid. Oh, I like the finisher moves. That's a nice touch. Why do I think it's not on Xbox? I have no idea. Maybe PlayStation? You know what? Both PlayStation and Xbox have talked about... Oh, sorry, I got the wrong gameplay, Pip. both PlayStation and Xbox have talked about wanting to take a closer look at what's being developed in China, and I wonder if this is PlayStation getting their Pal World for 2025. This looks fun. Because if PlayStation's like allowing it to be released on their console. Alright, so here we go. This is like a boss fight, right? Yeah, alright. Sorry. So they're bringing in a boss that you can fight. I like that. See, it looks very simple, but it looks fun. To me, the gameplay looks somewhat simple, but it does look like a fun game. Oof. Get out. And if this is early, who knows how far along it's gotten. You know, over the last few years, we've gotten like Pal World. We got, what was the other one I was gonna say? Oh, First Descendant, which is basically like a Destiny game. There's a lot of interesting stuff coming out of China. I like this boss fight. He's cool looking. I mean, it looks incredible, but Matt, in the grand scheme of things, yeah, you mean visually, but like mechanically, it's not super compelling for you. I'm curious. I'm into it. I don't know. I just want to see what happens when you kill the big monkey. I know it's a gorilla. The First Descendant is Korean. But it's Tencent, right? Isn't First Descendant Tencent? Who made First Descendant? Who published? Oh, Nexon. Sorry, it's Nexon. I thought it was Tencent. My bad. Thank you for the correction. Anyway, I think it's cool. This was published 11/28/2024. So this is old gameplay. It doesn't say it's old. But yeah. Oh. Save the world controlled by intelligent AI. That's an interesting way to put it. Oh, is there another? Is this just a trailer? There's another asset here. This is the trailer. This is the launch trailer. I don't see anything about the platforms, though. It's called Wild Origins, is the direct one-to-one translation from Chinese to, or Pinyin, I think is the Chinese language. I don't know. Anyway, my computer's like having a hard time even accessing it. I'm just going to close it. Yeah, so that is the game, and it has a lot of people obviously upset because it's a ripoff. But I think when people start looking at it, they're kind of like, it actually looks kind of good. Like, I think this game looks fun, and it's catching them off guard a little bit. What do you think? China speaks Mandarin, don't they? Yeah, well, there's two languages primarily used in China. It's Mandarin and Cantonese. And then the written form, I believe the simplified written form is Pinyin. I don't know for sure, though. Maybe somebody could correct me if I'm wrong with that. But that's the extent of my knowledge about the Chinese language. I think I could still count to like 3. Er, san, su, wu, liu, chi, bao, Joe. I don't know. I have no idea if I'm right. And then hot water is kai shui, and cold water is bing shui. I went to China for a little bit. I know so little. It was really isolating, honestly, because I was super inland at the time, and like nobody knew English really, so it was just like you're just alone, and I was glad to come home. I'll just say that. Yeah, you're just kind of like, if you're in a foreign place and you're unable to communicate, it's just a bummer because you can't really do anything. I would watch the television shows, and there was this really cool drama about like an office romance with a really serious business guy. and a less serious like lady, and he was into her, but he was trying not to let it show his hand. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, you get super homesick just going anywhere where you can't communicate with any, like you can't even order food. You just feel like an idiot. You're like taking your phone out and you're like, I just want to order the noodles or whatever, or soup. And they'll just make you whatever and you eat it. But it, yeah, it's a bummer because you can't just talk to anybody. You can't say hi to people. But China was cool. I mean, it was whatever when I was there. I was glad to come home. You get really homesick, says what, but yeah, exactly it. So, I think I'm going to go. They do have a Discord for the game. I'll have to check it out. Japan has people you can hire that will translate for you if you travel. Yeah, I mean, maybe someday when I'm rich, I'll have a personal translator, but today, it's not today. Phil, I got to be honest with you. I don't think I'm going to be rich ever. Like super duper rich enough that I can have a personal translator follow me around. I don't think I'm going to be getting that, who's a big streamer? I don't know. That Kai Cenat money. I don't think I'm that energetic. Kojima. Yeah. I think I'm going to go, everybody. This is a good stream. Yeah, Kai Cenat just broke the record. That's crazy. I've watched Kai's streams, and he's like, we're doing the Mafia-thon. And every time I tune in, I just want to see him play Mafia. And he's never actually playing the game. He like has these AI robots run around his house. He's fighting the robots or just doing something crazy, right? Or caught up in some sort of drama. And I'm just like, does anybody know? Does Kai Cenat actually play games, or is it like the Mafia-thon is like the theme? So he rented out that big house and it's like a theme. Anyway, I'd be curious about that. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm actually more into Light of Moratam now that I've seen it. He did the Elden Ring run. You're right. I greatly appreciate you watching. If you like my content, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. Sorry, I'm a little sweaty. I'm fighting something off. I have not felt well today, but this was great. I do feel a little better now that we got to do the stream together. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much to the members. I really do appreciate it. This is updated with last week's memberships from Aries. Aries is great. Aries will sometimes give some members, but if you just want to become a member and support my channel, allowing me to make more videos and live streams like this one, I do appreciate it. It's just something's going on with my stomach. I'm not hungry. Anyway, sorry. Thank you so much to the members, and I do appreciate that. I'm going to get out of here. I'll see you for the next one, everybody. Be back next Sunday, and have a great weekend. I'll see you. Bye for now.